Okay, so let's answer this question. What are real numbers? Okay, now, I could sit here and give you a real specific mathematical definition. And you know what? That's probably not going to help you out because if you're looking for the answer to this question, you probably don't understand your book or maybe what your teacher's saying. So let me go ahead and try to give you a common sense way of understanding what real numbers are. And then I'll kind of try to bring in the mathematical technical definition. Okay, so real numbers, this is very easy. Real numbers are the type of numbers that we encounter in our real everyday life. So let me give you some examples here. So let's say you bought something and it was $2.95. Okay, so 2.95, that's a real number. It's a type of real number. Let's say it's cold outside and it's negative 10 degrees Fahrenheit. Okay, that negative 10 is a real number. Let's say you're looking at how much pizza you have left and you only have 1/3 of your pizza left. That is a real number. Okay. Um, let's say you just got paid and you got paid, let's say $1,200. All right, that's another example of real numbers. So real numbers, okay, are a collection of various different types of numbers. Okay, so that's the first thing. Real numbers are made up of various independent kind of subset types of numbers, and you're going to study those. I'm sure if you're in algebra or if you're in pre-algebra, you'll study those different types of real numbers. I'll just very quickly introduce them to you. You'll have integers. You're going to have rational numbers. You're going to have irrational numbers. Actually, rational numbers is the abbreviation for it is Q in most mathematics textbooks. We won't even go there. I don't know why they've done that, but anyways, that's how it is. So you have integers, rational numbers, irrational numbers. Okay, you have whole numbers and natural numbers. All these types of numbers, okay, are numbers that make up the entire real number system. Okay, but these are examples of integers and rational numbers and whole numbers, etc. Okay, so I'm going to stick with this question here. What are real numbers? Now, before I go any further, make sure you come over to algebratesthelper.com. Massive free resource. Will answer all additional questions you might have. All right, so let's get into this a little bit further. What are real numbers? So we already talked about, these are kind of examples of numbers that we might encounter in our life, okay, and they constitute part of the real number set. But from a mathematical standpoint, I want you to kind of think back on when you study the number line, when you're first learning how to count numbers and everything else. We'd learn about this idea of zero, and then when you're like 2, 3 years old, you were saying, okay, 1 and 2. You started learning how to count 3 and 4, and these are what these are called natural numbers. Then when you throw in a zero, you have whole numbers, and so you're like, oh wow, that's cool. And then later on, as you progress into mathematics, we started learning about negative numbers, -1, -2, -3, and then you have all different types of numbers that fit in between here. Okay, so like right here might be the number 2/3, like right here might be -1.9, etc. Okay, so this whole entire line, okay, and all the numbers that are on it, okay, which are, pretty much all the numbers you could probably think of. Here, let's give you another one. Here, pi. Okay, hopefully you know what that symbol is. That's the number 3.1415, and it goes on forever. It's not what we call non-terminating decimal. Okay, that goes on and on and on. But if you think about it, 3.14 is kind of like maybe somewhere like right here. Okay, all the numbers that you could put on this number line are the real numbers. Okay, and just as I was saying before, some of these numbers have different type of names. So like these right here, 1, 2, 3, 4, we would call the natural numbers. We throw in zero, we have the whole numbers. Then we have -1, -2, -3. We keep going. Now we have integers, etc. Okay. All right. So that's just a quick video on real numbers. Okay. So what are real numbers? Real numbers are those numbers that we encounter in everyday life. That's a good way to think about them. But they're made up of a subset of numbers that we find on the real number line. Okay, so hey, listen, come on over to algebratesthelper.com. Save yourself some trouble of trying to figure this stuff out on your own, and have a great day.